Hey, folks, welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. I'm your host, Louis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And if you don't already subscribe to a YouTube channel and you're watching for the first time and you're enjoying what you're watching, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you do subscribe, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And right now it's shout out time. So I'd like to shout out one of our subscribers. Want to give a shout out to Mickey Styles One. Mickey Styles One, thank you so much for subscribing to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. And again, if you don't subscribe and you're watching for the first time and you're enjoying what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button. I might be shouting you out next. All right, so let's get on to it. Got a few things to talk about. NWA's Kamille reveals that she wants to face AEW's Jade Cargill. Holy cow. That would be an absolute money match. Kamille against Jade Cargill would be absolutely fantastic. It's SE Scoops reporting here. It says NWA star Kamille recently appeared on Sirius XM's Busted Open Radio. The insurance policy of NWA World Champion Nick Aldis discussed a number of topics on the show, including how she would like to face Jade Cargill in an AEW ring. She says, I would definitely bring a different twist to their product and the type of matches they have. Kamille began discussing AEW television and what she could bring to the roster. The only way I would go there if the business is there to do so. I understand there's a working relationship, but I'm team NWA. If business got more eyes on a product, I'm all for it. Other than that, it is what it is. Kamille on Jade Cargill. Down the line, no time soon. This girl is brand new, but she's an absolute superstar. Kamille continued, talking about Jade Cargill, of course, revealing that she liked to work with a megastar in waiting. If you're flipping channels and you see her, you're like, what's going on here? I like matches with people who are out of this world, and you don't see it every day. Kamille concluded, the business is there for me and Jade. Holy cow, this would be a terrific, terrific match. This would be just two powerhouses going at it one-on-one, and it could happen. I know there's a working relationship there. Yes, she says she's Team NWA, but I mean, if the opportunity is there and the opportunity is there to work with Jade Cargill, I'm sure she would jump on it like that. And it would definitely be on AEW TV, and I think it would be just a spectacular matchup between, like I said, two powerhouses. And I have a feeling it can happen. I have a feeling it can happen. I was looking to see if Jade Cargill responded to this, or she had something to say, but she hasn't responded to this article. But I would love to see Kamille one-on-one with Jade Cargill. I think, like I said, and I think everyone agrees with me that it will be a terrific, terrific match. Kamille, the number one contender right now for the NWA women's title in, of course, NWA. She recently defeated Thunder Rosa. And we're going to get into that because Kamille actually got into it with Thunder Rosa on the last NWO Power Show. But this is interesting. This is interesting that she would like to meet Jade Cargill. Again, it can happen. I mean, AEW, Tony Khan is open for business. He says he's open for business. You know, we got the forbidden door with AEW, and I'm sorry, the open door between AEW and Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and NWA as well. We have Serena Deeb, the NWA World Women's Champion, as well as Thunder Rosa showing up, and I'm sure we'll see Camille's down the road soon. I would love to see Kamille just show up and get right in Jade Cargill's face and start the feud. Again, I think that would be a terrific match. And okay, now let's get into Thunder Rosa and Kamille. I know I mentioned it. Let me pull the article here. Actually, Thunder Rosa and Kamille. There will be a rematch. Kamille defeated Thunder Rosa the last time they met to become the number one contender for the women's title, the NWA women's title. But a stipulation has been added, though. A stipulation has been added. If Thunder Rosa loses, she can only work for the NWA. And this is Fightful.com reporting. And it says on the May 11th episode of NWA Superpower, Kamille and Thunder Rosa came face to face, with Kamille laying out the terms for a potential rematch. Kamille defeated Rosa at NWA back for the attack to become the number one contender for the women's title. As I mentioned, Rosa wanted a rematch with Kamille, putting her number one contendership on the line. Kamille stipulated that if Rosa lost, she couldn't work in any other promotions and could only work for the NWA. So that's a stipulation. Thunder Rosa wins. She becomes the number one contender. She loses. She can't work for any promotion except the NWA. And Thunder Rosa agreed to the match. It's still unknown when the bout's going to take place, but it is set. It will happen. So again, Thunder Thunder Rosa loses. She can no longer work for any promotion except for the NWA. This is a strange stipulation. This is a weird stipulation, if you ask me, because usually if two wrestlers don't like each other, you have a loser leave town match. But this is the first time I've ever seen where the stipulation is the loser has to stay in town, right? The loser can't leave. The loser has to stay in the NWA. I know the NWA, they had back in the old school, they had numerous loser leave town matches, but this is a little different. This is the loser has to stay in town, which is it's kind of odd. It's kind of odd. It kind of gives away the ending anyway, because you're not, who Thunder Rosa, who appears in AEW, her own promotion. I believe she owns Mission Pro. I thought I read that somewhere, but she's big on the independent scene as well. And so that kind of gives away the ending, because Thunder Rosa is not going to lose. Thunder Rosa is going to win, become the number one contender for the NWA title, because Thunder Rosa is not going to. She's not just going to agree to something and just wrestle for the NWA. I mean, she has like on the indie scene and AEW, she appears. So it's kind of a weird stipulation. I kind of don't like the stipulation. I kind of don't like, I guess because she's under contract with NWA, you can't have a loser leave town match. I mean, I can understand if a contract was coming up, if you lose, you have to leave the NWA. But here it's, hey, you lose, you got to stay right here. You have to stay right here in the NWA with me, and we can have a few more matches. It's a strange stipulation, but like I said, it kind of gives away the ending. I don't expect Thunder Rosa to lose to Kamille and be regulated for the NWA, because really, when you think about it, Thunder Rosa has a lot to lose, right? She has, well, maybe maybe that storyline is, Thunder Rosa has a lot to lose because she's got a thing going on with AEW, and I mentioned Mission Pro and all on the scene. It might actually, she does actually have a lot to lose, right? And so if she loses, she can only work in the NWA. So she only has one source of income, which will be the NWA. So maybe it's not that bad of a stipulation at all. But it kind of, like I said, it gives away the ending. She's not going to lose. She's going to defeat Kamille, become the number one contender. And I see that NWA women's title around her waist again. But I think when her contract is up, I think she's going to move on from the NWA. I think she'll sign with AEW full time. But like I said, there was no date set for the match. The match is coming up. Could be on the next pay-per-view, but it will happen. It has been set. Thunder Rosa versus Kamille with the stipulations. If Rosa wins, Thunder Rosa wins, she becomes the number one contender. And if Kamille wins, Rosa can only work for the NWA. Okay, so that's that. Let's move on to the next one. WWE edits out a Daniel Bryan reference in a recent interview, which is quite interesting because Daniel Bryan, now a free agent, he was moved to the alumni section of the WWE's website, and now they edited out a Daniel Bryan reference in a recent interview. Wrestling Inc. reporting here said last week WWE NXT UK champion Walter joined After the Bell with Corey Graves and Vic Joseph to talk about his career in WWE. When asked about potential dream matches in WWE, Walter listed 3 wrestlers, including Daniel Bryan. WWE recently posted the clip of the interview on their YouTube channel, which you can see below. Walter's mention of Daniel Bryan is removed, and the video instead skipping forward to Walter wanting to wrestle Cesaro. So Daniel Bryan hasn't been on WWE program since losing to Roman Reigns on the April 30th edition of Friday Night SmackDown. Okay, so that's interesting, because if they were negotiating with Daniel Bryan and he was considering signing with them, or if he has already signed a contract, they wouldn't be editing out his name. So something is not. I really think Daniel Bryan. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him appear on AEW TV soon. If we see him on Ring of Honor TV, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him announced for the G1 in New Japan Pro Wrestling down the road. I wouldn't be surprised if he even shows up in Impact Wrestling. I think he's taking a break from the WWE. I know he said he would love to work for the WWE and other companies, but that's not happening. Vince McMahon will not allow that. So that's out of the question, in my opinion. So I think he wants to. I think he's done all he can in the WWE. I don't think he's going to be working many matches. I think if we see him in Ring of Honor, it'll be for one match. If we see it in AEW, it'll be for one match. I know he wants to kind of wind down a little bit, so I don't think it's going to be. He's going to sign full time with anybody. But I know he's got a couple of dream matches left that he wants to accomplish, or he wants to have take place before he retires. And I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see him against Jonathan Gresham in Ring of Honor. I think we'll see him against Kenny Omega in AEW. See him out in. I'd love to see him against Kota Ibushi in New Japan Pro Wrestling. As long as he stays safe, I know he's had concussion issues. As long as he's able to keep safe, or concussion and injury issues. If he can stay safe, that's great. If there's an issue, if there's any issue where he might be permanently injured, I would say just retire. But he's been wrestling in the WWE. He seems okay, and I really think that his time with the WWE is over. I know they offered him a backstage role, and I know he turned it down, which was interesting as well. So expect to see him in another promotion soon. That's my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if he pops up on Dynamite or if he pops up on Ring of Honor or like I said, Japan. But he's going to pop up somewhere other than WWE, in my opinion. Okay, so on that note, that's it. I'm going to end it right now and say thank you very much for listening to me today. I'm Lewis Carlin. This is the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye. Stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye bye.